You know, when I was missing the F1 sprint today because I was out and about doing other things in the world, I was worried that my social media would be inundated with all of these different bits and pieces of spoilers and whatever. But I didn't need to worry because there wasn't anything like that, which I think for me tells me what kind of thing the F1 sprint was. And it's not that the sprint format has issues. I don't believe that is the problem, though it could be argued it does have issues. I think that the issues lie more with F1 itself. Because what this has done is this has basically mitigated any of the impact that the wet quali had. I mean, the Haas essentially quallying, because F1 sprinted all that. 8th and 10th, Magnussen gets a point on the board. Schumacher gets his first top 10 in F1. That's roughly where they look in the pecking order. Alpine towards the bottom end of the top 10 as well. I mean, Haas could have been faster if they were on the softs. Quite simply. Don't know why they went for the mediums. But we can talk more about their strategy in a moment when we talk about the commentary for today. But I think the big pictures are Mercedes really are struggling. And it's not Mercedes' power unit because look at where McLaren are. It's just Mercedes, Aston and Williams that are struggling. Gasly has rotten luck. Don't know why Zhou Guanyu was doing the overtake that he was trying to up at, Piratella? Yeah. And, yeah, overall, felt a bit of a dud. Most of the overtakes have been done through DRS, because DRS is so overpowered at a track where, let's put it this way. If you're running a lot of drag, like a big rear wing, for example, and then you put a massive hole in it, you're going to go a lot faster. And we saw that because the Red Bull doesn't exactly have a straight line advantage over the Ferrari, but Verstappen and Perez were able to get quite nice overtakes done over the course of the sprint today. And Verstappen's pass for the lead, like, it could have been so much better, and it could have been more of an attempt to the move. I get DRS is making us have more opportunities, but it's the quality of them. Reducing the DRS zone could be something. And I'm not somebody who says do away with DRS. Think about the effects it has on the cars. Because the other problem is you can't overtake in many other places in the track because the cars are so long and so wide. Which is the problems with legacy venues such as Imola. I love Imola. I'm so happy it's back on the F1 calendar. But with the cars the size they are, it's not as suitable as it was when we were back there in the early noughties. Because the cars are just that much bigger. Now, if you can have the cars this fast, they're safe, because bigger doesn't mean safer, and bigger doesn't mean faster. And I believe it would be possible. That would make those tracks a lot more viable. But with the way F1's going, and the way the world's going, especially the automotive industry, I don't see that being the case. But I briefly mentioned broadcasters, so I want to go back to that. Paul DeRest is alongside David Croft in the commentary box this weekend, and I need to be clear about my kind of criticisms of Paul DeRest, because a lot of them think, oh, Hamilton hater or Verstappen fanboy, and I don't think he's necessarily a Hamilton hater. Don't think he's so much a Verstappen fanboy either, though I do think he was bigging up Verstappen's overtake for the lead because, well, Verstappen can do some brilliant overtakes, but to put that up there as supposedly one of his best, no, it really wasn't. He just used the DRS, and it wasn't as convincing as when his teammate was making overtakes. But F1 commentators tend to be quite bland. Is what we liked about the likes of Brundle. Is what we like about him when he's in the commentary box. And commentators tend to have that kind of character. The ones who tend to stand out are the ones who have a lot more character to them. So your Davide Valsecchi's, your Alex Jakes, of course Murray Walker. And Murray Walker and James Hunt, whilst Hunt seemed quite bland, had a lot of character to him. I think that's one of the criticisms people have of Crofty, is he feels a lot more kind of plastic, his character. Though it's more the way that he conveys the enthusiasm. It's a lot more suited to the radio format he came from, that Jack Nicholls took over from him and does a fantastic job of 5 Live with. But the rest just doesn't add much. He was obsessing later on over the Haas making the rush, but it was like we could see that from earlier on. You don't need to say that bit there. And I mean, I think there was a moment yesterday where he said, I don't think we've seen conditions this bad. He was commentating last year at the Belgian Grand Prix. In fact, I distinctly remember him talking about drivers dying back in his day, almost as if he was from the 1960s at Spa. It's like, come on. There's blunders in commentary, and Lord knows the best of them. Murray Walker. Murrayisms are so famous. And Crofty's gotten a lot of things wrong. I mean, look at the start of, was it the sprint or was it the actual race at Monza last year? Which was just interesting. But I don't think DRS adds much in the commentary booth. It's why in the F1 games it's not DRS, it's Anthony Davidson, that's because they don't want to re-record all the lines. But you could... I mean, Ted Kravitz is seen as like the standard pit lane reporter because he is so fantastic at his job. And in the past, we loved to talk about... I mean, we still love to talk about the likes of Alex Jakes. Jack Nicholls still does a fantastic job. I think Crofty does a good job. And I do believe he does. But it all feels like it's lacking something. That said, the graphics are now no longer lacking a 20th place. Obviously, because we've gotten so far into the season, they've recognised Mazepin ain't coming back, and they don't have to pretend he doesn't exist down in P20 or the leaderboard anymore. Yes, I'm still getting those digs in where I can. But yeah, F1 Sprint. It could do well. I like the idea of having 2 F1 races in a weekend. I really do. But the problem that we have here is that when you've got, say, a wet quali and a dry sprint, it just resets the natural pecking order. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Like I said, I feel like it was just some bad luck, but overall it could bring some merits. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you around tomorrow for my review of the race, or if you're sticking around for a bit, I've got a WRC day review coming up soon. See you around. Bye for now.